Bulagi Tawa, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form, a student Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm a curator from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Stop Justifying Failures, says AG. Taveuni faces food shortage. And vehicle dimension on LTA agenda.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Attorney General Ayasai Kayum has lashed out at National Federation Party and Fiji Labour Party leaders, labelling their comments as ridiculous and ludicrous. Said Kayum says both leaders are now trying to justify their two-faced position by claiming that Human Rights Commission Director is the spokesperson for the Fiji First government. He says they need to first face the fact that the Indo-Fijian community was labelled as Vulangi by Sudelpa MP Moses Mbulitavu, and also the Indo-Fijian women called unfaithful. Kritika Kumar reports.
Not mincing his words, Attorney General Ayasai Kayum says the NFP and Fiji Labour Party have failed the people of Fiji and hence using all the excuses in the book to look for a scapegoat.
They're trying to justify their very non-principled position, hypocritical position in fact. Now if the Anti-Discrimination and Human Rights Commission is taking a particular position, that's their right to do that. They're independent.
Both parties have accused Raj of being a vocal government backer and says he should remain out of political arena.
For him to pick instances and attack political parties, suggests my long-held view that here is a man, who should be independent, neutral, in dealing with human rights issues, delves into politics and attacks political parties. It may not be true in this case, but he's always been in the past behaving like a spokesman for the Fiji First government.
He is working for the Human Rights Commission. He should stay out of politics. He should not be involving himself with comments of political parties and all that. He should just purely be stating facts and without pointing a finger at political parties. The Human Rights Commission must be politically neutral, but it is quite obvious that Mr. Raj is pro-Fiji First and anti-opposition.
Now, if the Fiji First principles position is in alignment with human rights principles, then we shouldn't be blamed for it. In fact, they should be thanking us for it, if anything. They should look into themselves that their principles and values aren't actually aligned with, if they have any principles and values, aren't aligned with the basic human rights positions that is acceptable in the 21st century.
Seth Kayum also took a shot at NFP's explanation of backing Sodelpa in Parliament.
Comments are, are racially based. And now they are saying that, what they say in Parliament and what they support for them in Parliament is different to being outside. I mean, how ridiculous is that? It goes to show that they live a Jekyll and Hyde existence. Politics based on principle means that you have the same principle approach and the same values inside Parliament, outside Parliament.
The doing of Bulitavu has rocked the boat for most political leaders, who are now working on trying to ensure they are not seen backing a racist comment. However, the AG puts it, this should not be used only for one incident, but all parties need to stand firm and denounce racism and bigotry. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Supermarkets on the island of Taveuni are running out of food supplies following the indefinite suspension of Gaunda shipping services. The business community in Taveuni is heavily reliant on Gaunda shipping to bring in their supplies from Vitilevu. Eleanor Tarangai View is in Taveuni and files this report.
Gaunda shipping comes to Taveuni twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. The suspension of its services from July 1st is severely affecting supermarkets on the island.
We are not able to get supplies in times on the island. We were really dependent on Gaunda, week in, week out. And if Gaunda is suspended, Maritime should have thought about of a second option to get this sorted out too.
This is what the shelves at Fair Price supermarket in Nangara looks like. Customers getting turned away due to the empty shelves. Only a few onions left, no potatoes, and the supply of sugar and flour is low.
From Wednesday onwards, the supply started to drop, like the basic food item. You can see flour, rice, biscuit, all those things are out now.
Just opposite the road from Fair Price Supermarket is Taveuni Meridian Trading. This is the third supermarket we've been to today, and the story is all the same. Empty shelves, only this one much worse. There is absolutely no sugar, no flour and no rice.
The customers, when they see all everything to say that there's nothing in the shelf, even the bread. They come and ask for the bread, there's no flour. So what else to tell to the customer? Because there's no items in the shop.
Rahil Chaudhry owns the Sun City chain of supermarkets in Bono Lebu. He has two on the island of Taveuni. Both are out of supplies. Even the bulk is empty.
Normally in Taveuni we get in, week out orders every Mondays and Fridays when the boat leaves. And suddenly when the news was that from Monday the boat was detained, our orders from FMF, punjas, onion, potatoes, as you're aware, we cannot keep large stocks of this on the island. So every week we had 2 trucks coming in with the stocks. So this is really bad for us.
This crisis has prompted some businesses to make alternative arrangements for the shipment of their supplies from Vitilevu, while others are awaiting government assistance.
We rely on Gounder to get our things, so we'll just wait for them. Otherwise, maybe later on we can think for an alternative. Yeah?
These supermarkets on the island do not only supply food items to homes, they also serve the outer islands of Gamea and Lauthala, as well as hotels and resorts. Eleanor Turangaiwiu, FBC News.
Following a $9.3 million refurbishment, the Rarawai mill in Ba is now ready for the 2019 crushing season. Being the oldest mill in Fiji, the Rarawai mill faced significant challenges last year with the dire need to fix the boiler. Felipe Naikaso with the details.
The extensive refurbishment to the Rarawai boiler is expected to give it a new lease of life.
The work in the boiler was the first upgrade work done in over 20 years on this piece of equipment, and it was sorely in need of work in 3 main areas, including our gas feeders, our air heaters, the ash grates, and upgrades being done to all mechanical and electrical parts and controls as well.
To manage the boiler upgrade process, the FSC, through a tender, secured the services of avant-garde, an engineering consultant firm from India.
I think we need to record a special vote of thanks to our growers and our farmers here in Rarawai and the Penang mill areas for their significant patience during this refurbishment phase. Most growers have taken advantage of the early opening of the Lautoka mill, and they started to deliver cane to Lautoka and get their gangs operating quite successfully.
The opening today of the Rarawai mill has had a positive effect from associations, farmers and lorry drivers.
The farmers are really happy with the opening of today's mill, the Rarawai mill, because most of the farmers were cutting cane to Lautoka, and now it will be easy to them to bring their cane to Ba, those who are harvesting in Ba and Rekreki.
Meanwhile, the FSC is pleased with how farmers and the lorry drivers have been adjusting to the new load restrictions. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority will be implementing vehicle dimension restrictions before the end of the year. Vehicle dimensions were highlighted as an issue for roads in major towns and cities and a huge contributor to road congestion in the urban centres. Lena Rees reports.
While making a submission to the Standing Committee on Social Affairs on FRA's annual report for 2015 to 2017, Chief Executive Jonathan Moore highlighted the growing concern of large vehicles in towns and cities.
The urban centres particularly, they've got decades-old networks and they've got rights-of-way that are very narrow, and they just cannot accommodate some of these vehicles that are going around the cities right now. So we will be in the new, probably later this year, before the new year, we'll be imposing vehicle dimension restrictions on the roads as well in the urban centres.
The committee also had questions regarding the new projects and upkeep of the roads in maritime islands.
This is being looked after by the Ministry of Rural, Maritime and Development, but under an MOU with FRA. My question is, because I know, like for example, in Vonongalagu, the road is very bad. And I had continuously raised this in the House. But with this MOU, the funding is with FRA or is it with the ministry?
The team are actually ministry workers, but we pay their costs on a monthly basis, and any material costs, it's paid by the FRA. But going forward, we have a plan to change the way that work is procured by having a dedicated maintenance contract and capital improvement contract on the island.
Moore adds that this arrangement with the ministry is difficult, and FRA would rather have their contractors on the ground working with them directly to identify the problems, and plans are in place to change the structure of works on the roads in the islands. Lena Reese, FBC News.
Leaking of information about children who are victims of sexual abuse worries the Save the Children Fiji. While presenting their submission on registration of sex offenders bill to the Human Rights Standing Committee, Chief Executive Iris Lowe Mackenzie says this kind of information should be well protected. Mackenzie says children are reporting sexual abuse cases, and at times they become victims because their information is leaked to the public. Mackenzie says there have been instances in the past where information is leaked to the public, and if the sex offenders registry is to be kept by police, they have to ensure all information is well secured. Up ahead, ministry to move away from contractors, and a Fijian has Australians singing his tunes. Details after the break.
Bula, go minuni mereka-raki untuk terletak di forong 60 FM, namun 2 NSR.
Nimbula, ayaw meli, na watitiu may mataniway, ando talita ka na warong 60 FM.
Untuk toko leo nabi series 60 FM, namun 2 NSR isu. Ni sambol binakan lewi biti gonga luman tahun di Lebemba. Eu ngango emosi mbale roka untuk talita ka na warong 60 FM.
Bula FM,
namun 2 NSR.
Bula FM, namun 2 NSR.
The Ministries of Waterways, Agriculture and Environment will be moving away from using contractors to undertake small projects in rural areas. While commissioning the new footbridge in Naisongovau in Tailevu yesterday, Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy said they will use their skilled workers for such rural projects and will also seek help from the local communities. Sainiani Boiler reports.
The three ministries will best utilize available resources to undertake small rural projects.
Through these three ministries, we can get maximum out of this budget that we have. There are projects that we can do ourselves without going to the contractor. They have their own, overheads, they have their own, margins. We will try to cut all those by see how we can deliver ourselves in collaboration with the members of the villages.
Reddy says the first rural project using their own resources was the construction of the new footbridge in Naisongobau Tailevu, which connects the village with the village farm and nearby roads.
You look at the project there, we did it ourselves, with our staff, and a little bit of help from the villages they live as well. It means a lot to the village. There's about 300 people on the other side of the small creek who were affected because that was the only way, means of crossing.
The creek has been there for almost 30 years now, and it's risking the lives of students who cross it daily to go to school. And this help by the ministry will protect villages, school kids, and will help us daily.
The ministry is working closely with other rural communities to identify and meet urgent needs of villages and communities. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
A mother who allegedly drowned her 4-year-old daughter after driving her car off the road near Kasavu Nausori and then jumping in the Rewa River with the child tied to her, admitted in her caution interview that she had intentionally wanted to kill her daughter and herself. Rosaline Razianisha's caution interview was read in the Suva High Court as the trial commenced its second day today. Pranita Prakash was in court and filed this report.
In her caution interview, Nisha said the day before the incident, she had an argument with her husband. The mother of 3 told police that on 6th May, the day of the incident, she was asleep when her husband came home with 2 police officers who had documents awarding custody of their children to him. Nisha said around 5:30 p.m. she found the keys in the car and drove towards Korovou Tailevu with her 4-year-old daughter sitting beside her in the passenger seat. She said she called her mother and who allegedly told her that they had no room for her. Continuing the caution interview, Nisha said she drove back towards Nausori town, stopping near Kasavu, where she allegedly planned to kill herself and her 4-year-old daughter by driving the car into the river. When the car got stuck, she told the interviewer that she tied her daughter to herself and jumped into the water. However, she said they started floating and she called for help, and 2 people in a boat came to her rescue. By that time, her daughter had become motionless and she only learned the 4-year-old has passed away when they were taken to the Nosori Health Center. Nisha is charged with 1 count of murder. The trial continues tomorrow. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Voli Koroi, remember that name? He's the first Fijian to make it into the knockout stages of the global music show The Voice. The longtime artist now soaking up some of the limelight since the show aired in Australia last month. The Taveuni native is in Fiji to celebrate his father's birthday and is also holding a one-night-only show in Suva. Maggie Boyle caught up with him.
All around Sydney, and they just asked me, hey, can you come on the show? And I was really excited to be, invited to be on the show. Kids can be really cruel at times, so that was definitely something that I had to sort of overcome, and using that as part of my, I guess, momentum behind my performance was something that I've, tried to chime into. It was the first song I've ever released, and it's available in all streaming platforms. It was the first song, and hopefully I will be releasing a full EP in September.
Given this is as close as I'm going to get to the Voice stage, I'm thinking about a duet. Voli, what do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, then. You say I'm crazy,
but you don't think I know what you've done.
And when
you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one.
Well, I'm going to stick to my day job then. For FBC News, I'm Maggie Boyle.
6 Queen contestants will be vying for the Digicel Farmers Carnival Crown and Bar, which is currently underway. The ladies are all excited to be part of the week-long festival as they advocate on current issues that are affecting society. Felipe Naikaso has more.
It was the first private judging for these contestants, who were all confident of their performance.
I think it's very amazing, inspiring for me, and so that I can stand out confidently and also motivate the youths out there that if I can do so, they can.
For 18-year-old Marisiana Vatavesi, the youngest of the 6 contestants, the carnival is an experience she will always cherish.
I believe teenage pregnancy is a rising issue nowadays for our society especially, so I'll be advocating on this.
With the opening of the Farmers Carnival on Saturday, there's been a huge response from the public. Funds also raised during the festival will go towards underprivileged children. The crowning will be held on Saturday night. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
And it's business time now with Rachel.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, state-owned banks backed for success. And in growing Fiji, Vodafone Arena to feature extra space. Stay with us.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, state-owned banks can assist governments with their development agendas if operated efficiently. In the Find In Balance 2019 report commissioned by the Asian Development Bank, 13 state-owned banks were reviewed and assessed on how they can deliver commercial domestic financial services without distorting the local market. The co-author of the report and a senior financial expert says if state-owned banks like the Fiji Development Bank are run competitively and regulated, the value they add to governments would be significant.
We advocate quite strongly that these banks should be complying with financial targets such as return on assets and return on equity as opposed to some loose qualitative target. So the stronger the financial discipline, the argument goes, the stronger the bank. The sustainability will come through consistent profitability, and with that sustainability the government will be able to achieve whatever development objectives have been set for the bank through that particular bank.
The US dollar was on a roll today, and Sinifa is here with the latest.
The US dollar traded near a 3-week high today. Investors seem less optimistic about US interest rate cuts ahead of the Federal Reserve Chair's testimony to Congress on the economy. US Fed Chief Jerome Powell begins 2 days of testimony to Congress tomorrow. It will be closely watched by traders to help determine if the US will continue its rebound against major currencies. Elsewhere, sterling was pinned near a 6-month low versus the US dollar. This was amid speculation that the Bank of England will soon join other major central banks in easing monetary policy in response to growing concern about the global economy and Brexit. The Bank of England will release its financial stability report on Thursday, which could help traders gauge whether the central bank will take a more cautious view of the economy. That's all from HFC Bank for now in Accra.
Thanks, Anifa. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. The Fiji dollar was on the rise against the Chinese yuan as well as the US greenback and the New Zealand dollar, the PNG kina, but recorded minor slippage against the Aussie and the euro as well as the Japanese yen. The commodities market was all in the descent with oil prices down a few cents but still about $57 per barrel. Gold dropped about $5 to close at $1,393 per ounce, and silver was down at $15.02 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Vodafone Arena renovation, including a new netball and volleyball courts, is nearing completion at the cost of about $16.7 million. The arena is expected to reopen by the end of next month. The upgrades include new permanent seating for 2,350 spectators, new retraceable bleachers for another 834 people, new wooden flooring, bigger screens, and an energy-efficient lighting system.
When we have inter-houses, don't jump on the bucket seats because we need it to last. We need your children, your grandchildren to be able to use these facilities. Don't keep banging on the fences because we want them to be used for another 10 years or so. We do have maintenance programs in place, and the value of our assets, the books, in our books, we really should be spending over a couple of millions on the upgrade and maintenance of all our facilities each year. I can tell you now, and it's public knowledge because all our accounts are in annual reports that are distributed publicly.
And that's business for tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Elder wins Fiji's first gold, and Fair Brother Challenge moved to later date. This and more coming up.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM it's hot. हम आचल नसोरी से मिर्ची FM बहुत जुलूम.
Hi, हम शारा प्रकाश बात करते हैं तावा में मिर्ची FM सबकन से and मिर्ची FM it's hot.
Hi, my name is Prashant. I live in Suba. I love Mirchi FM because Mirchi FM it's hot.
Hi, I'm Shane. I love listening Mirchi FM because it's awesome and it's hot.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Shavi. We love listening to Mirchi FM in Lambasa.
Mirchi FM.
Archer Robert Elder won Team Fiji's first gold medal at the Pacific Games today. It was quite special for Elder, knowing he didn't do well in the first 2 rounds. Aquila Dama caught up with him after the win earlier this afternoon in Samoa and filed this report.
The smile says it all for Robert Elder, one of Team Fiji's most experienced athletes after winning our first gold medal at the Pacific Games.
Well, I'd like to thank God for this win. He's given me the strength and perseverance to achieve what I've achieved today. Yeah, the competition was, I started off slow, but then I picked up in the end, and I followed through till the end.
Elder was surprised when informed that he has won Team Fiji's first gold medal.
Oh, that's, I didn't know, but thanks for telling me. It's awesome feeling, and I'm very honored to get Fiji's first goal.
Manager Francis Dominico says he is proud of Team Archery's achievements today after Lisa Leota won a silver medal in the individual women's qualifier and Fred Leota managed to win a bronze medal in the men's individual compound qualifier.
I'm really proud of the athletes. They've worked so hard for this. They've prepared, they've put so much preparation into it, and I couldn't be more proud. Like just starting on the first day with 3 medals, it's a good start. There are 6 more medals up for grabs, and we're just looking up for that.
Robert Elder and Team Archery will continue their competition tomorrow. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
The Fiji women's cricket side put up one of their best performances today against gold medal favourites Papua New Guinea. Despite losing by 9 wickets, the coach and captain say they exceeded their own expectations today. Aquila Dama reports.
Tough day at the office for our women cricketers at the Pacific Games today against a more experienced PNG side, but they delivered a much better performance compared to the last time the two teams met.
We played them in a World Cup qualifier in Vanuatu back in April and early May, and the girls had a tough day that day. They got bowled out for 26, so to put 100 on the board against probably the gold medal favourites today, we were really happy with that aspect of play.
When the captain didn't expect how they fielded and bat today.
That's probably the best we've ever batted against PNG, so that part I'm really pleased with. I think every game we're actually really looking to improve, so if that's the worst it's going to get all week, and we keep getting better, I'll be happy with that.
Dean says women's cricket have a chance of being competitive in the future, but the work has to start now.
There's plenty of opportunities in cricket and in women's sport in general, and for the girls to be, training as hard as they are, if they have the opportunity to keep training this hard for a longer period of time, we're going to start becoming competitive.
Dean and her team will continue their competition tomorrow. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Former All Black Sevens captain DJ Forbes is impressed with how the Pacific comes together to compete. Forbes, who is now an athlete engagement manager with the New Zealand Olympic Committee, says there's something special about the Pacific Games you don't see anywhere else. He also used the Samoan Prime Minister, who is competing in archery at the Games, as an example.
That's awesome. I think that's what the Pacific Games can do. You've got different sports, you've got different ages, different categories, and you've got I guess athletes that can have an opportunity to represent their country and even medal. From I know we've got a 13-year-old in our team, and then you've got the Prime Minister in archery. So I mean, this is probably what the Pacific Games is all about.
Aquila joins us live now from Samoa. Aquila, what's the atmosphere like with Fiji slowly raking in medals?
Jamie, a successful day 2 for Team Fiji at the Pacific Games here in Apia, Samoa. 4 gold medals today for Team Fiji. Robert Elder in archery, Taichi Vakasama in swimming in the 200 meters breaststroke. And of course, just in the last hour, Fiji grabbed back-to-back gold in the Rugby League 9s, where the Fiji men's and Fiji women's won the gold. And the highlight of that double gold win is the women's team. Of course, the first ever Pacific Games women's 9s tournament, and the first ever team as well, women's 9s team from Fiji, to leave our shores and assemble and also come abroad for their first overseas assignment and winning gold in the end. And with me is Penny Tumbakimbau, the women's Rugby League 9s coach. Mr. Tumbakimbau, a historical day not only for Rugby League at the Pacific Games, but for Fiji as a whole.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank God for the win today. This is a good sign of our preparation. We came here with no second thought in our mind that we want to win the goal. Given the amount of difficulties that we faced, what we always joke around in camp, let's embrace it. Whatever the difficulties may be, let's embrace it. So we use all those challenges to help us achieving this milestone historic win today.
Finally, what does this mean for Women's Rugby League back in Fiji, considering that just 3 weeks ago Fiji created history in the 13 game where the Mbulikula played PNG?
I think it's good to know that we didn't have any active competition for the whole of this year. and with the girls to perform at this level. Hopefully we can pull in some sponsors. We want to go back and start with our women's competition, building up for our game in October against Australia. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Tumukimbau. And also, just an update, Taichi Vakasama winning the 200 meters breaststroke for men's at the swimming event, that is, and also Moana Wind winning silver, and Rosemary Rova a bronze medal for Team Fiji swimming. So that's the update from our end, Jamie.
Apart from a draw in 1970, the last time Fiji defeated the Maori All Blacks was in 1957. 62 years later, a flying Fijian side on the back of a win over France in Paris in its last outing will be hoping to finally rewrite the history books. Faria Begum has more.
William Emata is confident that the Flying Fijians are ready to battle it out with the Maori All Blacks ahead of their Pacific Series test clash this Saturday.
He's going to pick up from where we left off on the November test, so I think it'll be a fair fight.
When questioned about the team's preparedness, this is what he had to say.
We're going to play up as a team, and hope our defense will be strong this weekend so that we can put up a big game against the Maori.
Coach John McKee has shared similar sentiments, adding that this game is part of the team's preparation for the Rugby World Cup.
You know, we're very much focused on our performance this week and our journey towards Rugby World Cup. So, yeah, I mean, history's interesting, but, you know, it doesn't add any pressure to the team for this week.
The match will be played at 3 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium on Saturday. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
The Fairbrother Trophy Challenge match and the Bainimarama Shield Challenge matches that were scheduled for this weekend have been postponed. The Bainimarama Challenge match between Lautoka and Yasawa will take place at 5 p.m. on the 19th of this month, while the Fairbrother Trophy Challenge match between Suba and Nandrunga will be played on the 20th of this month at 3 p.m. Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says this was done with respect to the requests of fans.
Yesterday afternoon we have received requests from the 4 teams and from their fans that it will be very difficult for them to watch the Fairbrother and then come down again. So they have asked that the games be deferred to a later date.
That's it from sports tonight, but ahead in new media, tips to keep kids away from smartphones. There's some more coming up.
हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोचक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है, हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो। कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोमगो लेबू लटोका, रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे। कुमार
It may be hard to remember what life was like before smartphones. In new media, we tell you why screen consultants have come to remind parents how being a kid used to work. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday evening after a long day at work or school. The weather is kind enough to hold off the showers, but it will pay a visit in the dry areas later in the week. Now in the west, it was mostly dry with some late brightness. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, mostly stayed pleasant with high chances of showers later tonight. And up north, sunshine and showers. Now at sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 1:39 a.m. with low tide at 8:01 a.m. Sunrise at 6:38. For tomorrow, good spells of sunshine but light showers are possible. Tomorrow's temps, the western centers will most probably get a bit warm at 32 or so degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, there is mixed fortunes. The north might get light showers whereby the other centers will be moderate. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should more be done to change the mindset of people when it comes to diabetes?
more healthy food, especially keep away from the fast food.
Just train regularly and go to the doctor so often.
I'm speaking from experience. I had diabetes, and doctors recommend that, and I tried it, and I proved it. A lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, and exercise.
You should always have a balanced diet, enough rest and exercise, and you have to listen to messages from the health ministry on diabetes.
Change the mind, change the mindset to change the food with taste-kill food. I think we have to change our mindset now because we can't do much now. The only thing we have to do now is change everything now, our diet, and go back to where we used to be.
Imagine getting a phone call about millions of dollars. This is exactly what happened with Jane Lokshin, who received a surprising phone call to find out that her 98-year-old aunt had amassed a $9 million fortune before she passed. Here's more of this truly weird and yet wonderful story. Recapping the main stories for tonight, stop justifying failures, says AG. Taveuni faces food shortage, and Elder wins Fiji's first gold medal. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question segment this week, we're asking, should Moses Mbulitavu be disciplined by his party and parliament for his racist comments? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day once again is from the Pacific Games. This is the first medal win for Fiji during the medal presentation, Matilita Mbondromo, after her bronze win in the open water swim category. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, by Facebook page FBC News, Twitter, you can follow and tweet us on FBC_news, or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Natango meria maramani waya manetua sawa aweti kitunde nandi ya ndo marata kana varonga na radio Fijian.
Yawa asna vatili yawa mana Monica. Tondo varonga vale bunar domai biti lambasa.
Bula natango aproslan garse ngor kraki do televio na varonga na radio Fijian na domai biti.